at 877-777-NEWS.
Welcome to World News. Tonight, the gloom deepens on Wall Street and on Main Street. Stocks plummet despite the government takeover of AIG. Should other troubled companies be saved with taxpayers' money? Tainted milk. Thousands of babies in China are sickened after drinking formula laced with an industrial chemical. And text message trouble. It may have caused a train wreck. It has caused car wrecks. Our reporter shows just how distracting and dangerous texting can be.
From ABC News headquarters, this is World News with Charles Gibson.
Good evening. Last night, the government committed $85 billion to bail out the insurance giant AIG and keep the company going. As a result of the deal, you, the taxpayer, now own 80% of the company. The move was designed to calm and bring stability to the financial markets. Did it work? Maybe down the road, but not today. Today, the market started down sharply, recovered a bit, and then at the end of the day fell off sharply again, ending the day down another 450 points. That's a loss just today of 4% of the market's value. So, what's going on? Betsy Stark is here again tonight. Betsy?
Charlie, today's plunge in the Dow was not the reaction government officials were hoping for when they made the extraordinary decision last night to save AIG. Fear has taken hold of the financial markets here and around the world.
On Wall Street today, the $85 billion the Federal Reserve put up to save AIG from near certain bankruptcy was not enough to calm terrified investors that the next disaster is not around the corner.
People watch Lehman go down, and then AIG and the Merrill Lynch, and they're wondering who's next, who's going to be the next big company that fails.
Frantic investors searching for safety sent the price of gold up $70, the biggest one-day gain in history, and they fled anything financial in droves, including Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs, which both reported better than expected earnings this week.
This is a rational panic. People are selling first and asking questions later.
Wall Street has been turned upside down, and as the bailouts pile up, so does the bill for the American taxpayer. $29 billion to help J.P. Morgan buy Bear Stearns, $200 billion to shore up Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, $85 billion to keep AIG in business, not to mention the $400 billion emergency credit line from the Fed and $102 billion in new FHA loans for distressed homeowners. Total taxpayer price tag so far, a whopping $816 billion.
These markets are so big and they're so complicated, there just aren't any easy moves. So even if you spend $1 trillion or $2 trillion at this point, it'll take some imagination to sort of have this thing settled.
The taxpayer money pledged to AIG does come with strings attached. There's a high interest rate on that $85 billion loan, more than 11%. Taxpayers are getting stock options on almost 80% of the company, and they will profit should any assets be sold.
We still think the taxpayer should make money on this transaction.
But taxpayers we talk to are not convinced.
It's a disgrace what's going on. The people that should actually be being bailed out are homeowners that are suffering.
I have very little confidence. I want to take my money and put it under my mattress.
This epic shakeup on Wall Street is not over yet. Tonight there is talk that Washington Mutual, the nation's largest savings and loan, is putting itself up for sale rather than risk total collapse. London-based Lloyds Insurance is selling itself to a big Scottish bank, and there are reports that Wachovia and Morgan Stanley may merge. These are truly extraordinary times, Charlie.
Perhaps more major moves to come. Betsy Stark reporting tonight. Thanks to you. And this afternoon I spoke with Mark Zandi. He's the chief economist at Moody's Economy.com. Mark, it almost seems as if people think that there's a house of cards falling, and they're not quite sure what the house is even made of.
Yeah, I mean, that's clearly the concern, that one financial institution goes under and it takes another and another, and it's just a series of dominoes. So that's clearly the worry that's pervasive all over Wall Street and now infecting everyone everywhere. Wall Street shaking to the core. I mean, we've lost some venerable institutions already, and we've got Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, the most rock-solid institutions, literally on Wall Street now under tremendous pressure.
So are you saying to me this market is not reacting rationally, it is simply reacting to fear?
I think what we're seeing now goes well beyond that. I think it is just raw panic and concern. Ultimately, the fundamentals will prevail, but for the moment, it's the panic that's winning the day, and that's certainly disconcerting.
If this is fear-driven, what's happening? When does fear get weeded out and rationality return?
Well, I think that is imminent. The fundamentals always prevail. And you know, at the bottom of markets, of all markets, you have this kind of cathartic event where people just capitulate, they sell, they just want out. Once those people are gone, then the fundamentals take over and we get buyers back in the marketplace and we get back more closer to normal. Is that tomorrow, the next day? I'm not quite sure, but I know, I feel very confident that we're closer to that day than we've been in quite some time.
Part of a conversation we had this afternoon with Mark Zandi of Moody'sEconomy.com. Well, investors aren't the only ones struggling to figure out how to respond to the troubled economy. So are both of the presidential candidates, but in particular, John McCain. ABC's David Wright is on the campaign trail with McCain.
John McCain was against the government bailout of AIG before he was reluctantly for it. Here he was yesterday on the Today Show.
We cannot have the taxpayers bail out AIG or anybody else. This is something that we're going to have to work through.
Asked about the same topic today on Good Morning America.
I don't think anybody I know wanted to do that, but there were literally millions of people whose retirement, whose investments, whose insurance were at risk here, and they were going to have their lives destroyed.
Senator McCain appears to have changed his tune on regulation in a fundamental way. These days, out on the stump, he's a champion of reining in Wall Street with tough regulations.
We're going to put an end to the reckless conduct, corruption, and unbridled greed that have caused a crisis on Wall Street.
But for more than 25 years in the Senate, McCain has fashioned himself a champion of smaller government, less regulation.
I am less government, less regulation, lower taxes, et cetera, et cetera.
In the mid-1990s, he supported a measure to ban all new government regulations. McCain supported legislation a decade ago that broke down the firewalls between banks, investment houses, and insurance companies, the very rules that companies like AIG exploited to get into the current mess. And as recently as March of this year, after the collapse of Bear Stearns, McCain was all for deregulating Wall Street.
Our financial market approach should include encouraging increased capital in financial institutions by removing regulatory, accounting, and tax impediments to raising capital.
When deregulation was the wave in Washington, he surfed that wave. Now it's not, and the populist inside John McCain is out.
Today, the Wall Street Journal accused McCain of selling out his free market ideals. Said today's lead editorial, denouncing greed and Wall Street isn't a growth agenda.
It's a conversion of convenience, some will say.
We reached out to the McCain campaign for a response, and they told us he's not a Johnny-come-lately on this issue. They say that 2 years ago he called on Congress to reform Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They note that he has also repeatedly called for reforms of corporate governance. Has there been a change in emphasis? Absolutely, they say, but that's because we're in a crisis.
David Wright reporting tonight from Grand Rapids, Michigan with the McCain campaign. Thanks. Well, next we're going to turn to the aftermath of Hurricane Ike. Houston, the nation's fourth largest city, is struggling to recover. The city has very little power, and without power, almost nothing operates normally. Here's ABC's Mike Van Fremd.
No electricity means no lights, no air conditioning, and no hot meals.
Keep moving, keep moving.
Once again, families lined up in parking lots for food and water.
You got a couple of meals ready to eat. You ever had them before?
No, not looking forward to it, but anything's better than nothing.
The 350 residents at this Houston nursing home are without power also. Backup generators are now the lifeline for so many.
The rooms are warm, but what do you expect?
Can I have 6 of your
But there were signs today of things coming back. It could be seen in fast food restaurants opening for business, lines quickly forming for the chance of a hot meal at last. Getting around a city without traffic lights has meant congestion at every corner. But today, workers began repairing lights at some of the busiest intersections. Throughout the nation's fourth largest city, schools remain closed, many in need of repair. Most do not have electricity, and the majority will not reopen until next week.
Welcome to the zoo this morning.
To fight the cabin fever being felt by both parents and children, the Houston Zoo reopened today. Kids who've had to endure so much these past days were thrilled.
We are getting out of the house, enjoying the nice, rare fall weather here in Houston, and we have no power, so just trying to think of some creative things to do with the kids.
The hard times seem to be bringing out the best in many folks. Classes are canceled at Texas Southern University, so the fraternity students pitched in to do some heavy lifting.
The majority of people who are here volunteering don't have water, don't have power. We're just like everybody else, but we still find a way to volunteer.
A proud city that is slowly, very slowly, getting back on its feet. Mike Von Frem, ABC News, Houston.
And still ahead on World News, thousands of babies in China fighting for their lives. Some tainted formula that made them sick was contaminated on purpose. An investigator's eye texting in a train wreck. Our reporter finds out how many drinks it would take to equal the texting risk behind the wheel. And the Billionaires Club. We have a first look at the new list of the richest Americans and why their losses should worry you.
I tried something new.
I tried something new.
I tried something new.
I tried something new to help make my heart stronger.
Stronger. Stronger.
Smart Start.
Smart Start.
Smart Start. New strawberry oat bites. Light crunchy squares made with heart healthy oats. And the strawberry taste baked right in.
It's good to try new things. New is good.
Kellogg's Smart Start. One bowl stronger.
I'm Mark Goldston, Chairman and CEO of NetZero. All internet providers take you to the same internet, so why pay more to get there? NetZero is only $9.95 a month, and we give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 1-800-NET-ZERO or visit netzero.com.
It's endless shrimp at Red Lobster. Indulge in endless choices of your favorite shrimp, including new shrimp in a spicy Cajun butter sauce. It's endless shrimp, our best value of the year, now at Red Lobster.
When it comes to quitting smoking, are you a tortoise or a hare? If you're a tenacious tortoise determined to quit, take the first step. See your doctor and ask if prescription Chantix is right for you. The Chantix approach is a pill with a program. And take note, it's a non-nicotine pill. It helps keep nicotine from reaching key receptors in the brain. It can effectively reduce that urge to smoke. And because slip-ups happen, you can't have too much support. So include your doctor, friends and family, and consider Get Quit, a support plan for Chantix users. If you notice agitation, depressed mood, or changes in behavior that are not typical for you, or if you develop suicidal thoughts or actions, stop taking Chantix and call your doctor right away. Some patients have had these symptoms while taking or after stopping Chantix. Talk to your doctor about any history of depression or other mental health problems which may worsen while taking Chantix. Tell your doctor which medicines you're taking, as they may work differently when you quit smoking. Chantix dosing may be different if you have kidney problems. The most common side effect is nausea. Patients also reported trouble sleeping and vivid, unusual or strange dreams. Until you know how Chantix may affect you, use caution when driving or operating machinery. The quitting road isn't for sprinters, but stay with it. Studies show 44% were able to quit at the end of 12 weeks. So talk to your doctor about the benefits of quitting smoking and ask if Chantix is right for you.
A number of overseas stories tonight, and we start in Yemen, where there's been a brazen attack on the U.S. embassy there. 2 car bombs exploded this morning outside the embassy compound in the capital of Sana'a. 16 people were killed, including 6 of the assailants. All the Americans at the embassy are safe. In Afghanistan, 4 U.S. soldiers and their interpreter were killed by a roadside bomb as they rode in their armored Humvee in the eastern part of the country. The number of U.S. troops killed in Afghanistan has now surpassed what was a record number of deaths last year. And in Israel today, the foreign minister, Tzipi Livni, won the Kadima party election and is now in a position to replace outgoing Prime Minister Ehud Olmert. She has 42 days to form a new coalition government, and she says she will continue peace talks with the Palestinians. The crisis over tainted baby formula in China is growing worse. At least 3 children have died, and 6,200 are ill from drinking the contaminated formula. And today, China's health minister said he expects the numbers to rise. And it is now clear at least some of the contamination of the baby formula was deliberate. ABC's Stephanie Tsai is in Beijing.
Across China, babies are fighting for their lives. More than 1,000 hospitalized, some suffering acute kidney failure. All drink contaminated formula. We are very, very angry, says this mother. The companies that sold the contaminated milk were the best brands in China. Now we don't know what to feed our children. Authorities have now determined that 22 Chinese dairy companies have sold products tainted with melamine, an industrial chemical used to make plastics and fertilizer. At least 2 people who supply raw milk to the companies have admitted to spiking it with melamine, which makes the milk appear higher in protein than it actually is.
As fears of the milk contamination have spread, thousands of parents have been bringing their babies to special clinics set up at hospitals just to make sure that their babies have not ingested any of the poisonous baby formula.
We're very nervous, says this mother. We only have 1 child. It was lack of quality control which allowed melamine to make its way into pet food last year, killing dozens of cats and dogs in the U.S. FDA investigators have yet to find any Chinese baby formula that may have made its way illegally into the U.S. But some of the formula was exported to a handful of countries in Asia and Africa. Outside the company, at the center of the storm, crowds demand answers. Sanlu is China's largest and most profitable producer of milk powders. On August 2nd, tests confirmed the presence of melamine, but it wasn't until 6 weeks later that the health ministry alerted the public to the danger. Some are suggesting authorities intentionally waited until after the Olympics to deliver the bad news. Now, thousands of babies are paying the price. Stephanie Tsai, ABC News, Beijing.
And coming up, dangerous, distracting, and deadly. Technology shows what really happens when you text while you're driving.
If you've had a heart attack caused by a completely blocked artery, another heart attack could be lurking, waiting to strike. A heart attack caused by a clot, one that could be fatal. But Plavix helps save lives. Plavix, taken with other heart medicines, goes beyond what other heart medicines do alone to provide greater protection against heart attack or stroke and even death by helping to keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots. Ask your doctor about Plavix, protection that helps save lives.
If you have a stomach ulcer or other condition that causes bleeding, you should not use Plavix. When taking Plavix alone or with some other medicines, including aspirin, the risk of bleeding may increase. So tell me before planning surgery. And always talk to me before taking aspirin or other medicines with Plavix, especially if you've had a stroke. If you develop fever, unexplained weakness, or confusion, tell me promptly, as these may be signs of a rare but potentially life-threatening condition called TTP, which has been reported rarely, sometimes in less than 2 weeks after starting therapy. Other rare but serious side effects may occur.
If you take Plavix with other heart medicines, continuing to do so will help increase your protection against a future heart attack or stroke beyond your other heart medicines alone. You may be feeling better, but your risk never goes away. Help stay protected. Stay with Plavix.
Hi. You got everything I need, right? Chicken breasts?
Yes.
Carrots?
Yes.
Celery, parsley, onions and garlic?
Garlic and onions, yeah.
The ingredients make all the difference. Progresso just tastes better than condensed. Progresso, what a soup should be.
I always thought calcium and vitamin D and exercise would keep my bones healthy. But I got osteoporosis anyway, so my doctor started me on once monthly Boniva. And he told me something important. Boniva works with your body to help stop and reverse bone loss. My test results proved I was able to stop and reverse my bone loss with Boniva. And studies show after 1 year on Boniva, 9 out of 10 women did too.
Don't take Boniva if you have low blood calcium, severe kidney disease, or can't sit or stand for at least 1 hour. Follow dosing instructions carefully. Stop taking Boniva and tell your doctor if you have difficult or painful swallowing, chest pain, or severe or continuing heartburn, as these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems. If severe bone, joint, and or muscle pain develops, tell your doctor.
I've got this one body and this one life, so I wanted to stop my bone loss. But I did more than that. I reversed it with Boniva. Ask your doctor if Boniva is right for you.
Boniva, help stop and reverse bone loss.
Wall Street may seem far off for many Americans, but what happens on Wall Street doesn't stay on Wall Street. The financial woes do trickle down to Main Street. How quickly could you feel the effects where you live? Find out tomorrow on World News with Charles Gibson.
Sources close to the investigation into the Los Angeles train crash that killed 25 last Friday now say the commuter train's engineer was sending text messages while on board, but still don't know how close to the moment of the accident the texts were sent. The engineer who died in the crash was working an 11.5-hour split shift and did not hit the brakes before slamming into a freight train. California lawmakers will vote tomorrow on an emergency order banning train operators from using cell phones altogether. But on the highway, sending or receiving a text message while driving is a fact of life. A national study finds 20% of drivers admit sending or receiving a text message while behind the wheel. And it's even higher for young drivers. ABC's Gigi Stone on the new research that shows why it is so dangerous.
You've heard of DWI. Well, these days, the big new traffic safety issue is called DWT, driving while texting. It's an addiction for many drivers. Half of 18 to 24-year-olds say they text behind the wheel.
I do text and drive.
It's perfectly legal in most of the country. Only 5 states have laws specifically prohibiting texting and driving. Most people think they can get away with typing a few quick phrases while driving, but research shows looking away from the road for just a few seconds can nearly triple your risk of crashing. Engineers at the University of Massachusetts use this simulator to study what happens when people multitask. Special glasses fitted with a camera monitored what happened when I tried to sneak in a few messages.
And boom, you almost hit that vehicle.
So close.
Very, very close. The crash risk when you're texting is in the neighborhood of when you've had between 3 and 4 drinks.
Some people say laws against texting are not the answer, that this is just the latest example of too much legislation.
There is a point where we actually have to trust the American people to have a certain amount of common sense.
But Gloria Wilhelm will continue her fight for stricter regulations of mobile devices in cars. Her son Matt was killed by a driver downloading ringtones.
There's nothing worse than watching my son die before my very eyes. And I think people totally overestimate what they can do while they're driving.
It's nearly impossible to determine how many accidents are caused this way, because few drivers will admit to texting after being in an accident. Gigi Stone, ABC News, Amherst, Massachusetts.
And up next, a first look at the new ranking of America's richest people and how they're faring in tough times.
The first time I had Silk, my boyfriend said, "Oh, I found this. It's called Silk. I think it looks kind of good. Let's give it a shot." We literally sat down like we were in the taste test and ate it with our cereal. It was good. It was cold. It was good in the cereal. It gave kind of like the bland, healthy cereal a little bit of like a, like a little bit of personality. It is such an easy thing you can do to start getting healthier.
Silk has soy protein, antioxidants, and omega-3s, plus all the calcium and vitamins A and D of milk. Silk. Take a step forward.
For years, low-dose aspirin has been a cornerstone of heart attack prevention. Now there's new Bayer with Heart Advantage. Ask your doctor about the only low-dose aspirin product that helps lower the risk of heart attack and lowers cholesterol. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin or modify an aspirin regimen.
Meet Erica. Grand poobah of pasta. Chancellor of cheese.
Fresh.
Connoisseur of coal. She keeps her ingredients in Glad bags, the easy way to help keep food fresh and handy. And now Glad bags are even easier to use. They're designed to grip with new taller tabs and more ridges.
Effortless.
Go easy. Get Glad.
The economy's in crisis. Enough is enough. I'll meet this financial crisis head on. Reform Wall Street. New rules for fairness and honesty. I won't tolerate a system that puts you and your family at risk. Your savings, your jobs. I'll keep them safe.
Experience and leadership in a time of crisis.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
They tickle, they tease, and you sneeze.
Maybe it's time to ask your doctor about Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair blocks leukotrienes, an underlying cause of nasal allergy symptoms. And that's how Singulair works differently. One pill, once a day. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat allergies.
When you're shopping for over-the-counter medications, you should know that CVS Pharmacy store brands are great ways to save money. They're just as effective as name brands. The only difference is price. Your cough won't know the difference. CVS Pharmacy, for all the ways you care.
Ready to do the darling?
Daddy, Reg.
2 weeks from tonight, with this much money, the Darlings are playing with fire.
Are you prepared to let them get away with murder?
ABC's Dirty Sexy Money. Season premiere 2 weeks from tonight, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Tomorrow on Good Morning America's historic Whistle Stop Tour, catch Barack Obama's running mate Joe Biden in a GMA exclusive. And Friday, it's Michelle Obama's turn. See the country like never before. Don't miss the train tomorrow.
Finally tonight, how the really, really wealthy are getting by in these tough times. Forbes magazine is just out with this year's list of the 400 richest Americans. The minimum price of admission to this ultra-exclusive club, $1.3 billion. ABC's Bill Weir reports the list actually reflects in large measure what's going on right now in the economy.
Richest man in America? Once again, Bill Gates, worth $57 billion.
Give me a little robot.
The founder of Microsoft and now Jerry Seinfeld's sidekick in those new Windows commercials edges out Warren Buffett for the top of the list. But both men are down a couple $2 billion from this time last year. In fact, 126 members of the Forbes 400 are on losing streaks. And while they may not get your sympathy, their eroding wealth should get your attention. Think of them as art-collecting, polo-playing canaries in the American economic coal mine. If the people on this list aren't getting much richer year by year, chances are you're not either.
You want the Forbes 400 to get richer. As they get richer, you have more economic growth, you have more capital in the markets.
I've lost my entire net worth.
AIG's Hank Greenberg fell off the list even before losing $800 million this week. And other winners and losers reflect American spending habits. Casino mogul Sheldon Adelson is down $13 billion from last year. That's $1,000 every 2.4 seconds. Less trips to Vegas means more trips to Walmart. The Walton family back in the top 10 after their value climbed by $7 billion. And some of the biggest fortunes came for those willing to bet against stability and prosperity, like hedge fund wizard James Simons, who made a cool $2 billion.
They're actually billionaires who make money the more volatile the market is, because they're able to bet for and against the market, millions and millions of positions a day.
The most unique new member may just be John Paul DeJoria, the man behind Patron and Paul Mitchell. Expensive tequila and shampoo may be good metaphors for this crop of billionaires. While some toast success, plenty of others are taking a bath. Bill Weir, ABC News, New York.
And that is World News for this Wednesday. I'm Charlie Gibson, and I hope you had a good day. For all of us at ABC News, have a good night.
Ballroom is back. ABC's Dancing with the Stars, a live 3-night premiere event, begins Monday, 8/7 Central on ABC.
See it, shoot it, send it. When you capture breaking news on your camera or cell phone, email it to Eyewitness News and video at myabc7.com.
So, sir or madam, would you like to try this wireless plan?
Sounds good.
Really? Clear!
Well, no, I'm good.
I must have done something out of order. Oh, I'm supposed to show you the contract first. No, we can start over.
You've done their world. Now try ours. Get unlimited local long